Happy Friday afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Fly Like an Eagles podcast, the first in a long time edition. Week 1, Green Bay Packers at the Philadelphia Eagles. Technically, Sao Paulo, Brazil. It's going to be
Game
a
day,
treat.
baby.
It's our first time since we faced Jacksonville in London, I believe, that we're playing international. We got Week 1 this year. Hopefully, it pays off in the long run for us. I'm actually excited because football is back. I'm excited that the NFL in general is back. I loved last night's game. It ended kind of prematurely for me because I feel like Likely had his feet in bounds. But it is what it is. Still a great game. Still a great time to open up the NFL season. And today I have my thoughts and opinions on how tonight's going to go. I'm going to be watching this with my buddy who just chimed in the comments section. It's going to be a fun time. Hopefully we get a W, but I'm going to introduce Scotty. What's up, Scotty? How you doing, bud?
What's going on, Kyle? Like I kind of already said, it's finally fucking game day. It kind of wasn't, it didn't feel like a long off season, but it's going to be such an exciting season because of the unknown of how last season ended. And we're starting off against a great measuring stick in the Green Bay Packers. Like if we were playing, I mean, the Jaguars are good now, but if we were playing the Panthers or Washington, like this is the Packers, Jordan Love, someone who is being compared to Jalen Hurts and could be a top 10 quarterback. This is a huge game. And we are following last night, Kansas City, Baltimore, which was a great way to kick off the season. I was working, but I did watch the highlights, the 15-minute video that the NFL YouTube channel posted. And from what I seen, which first of all, they do a great job. They get that up in like minutes after the game. So they're probably working through the whole thing. So kudos to NFL Films or whoever does that. Like this, if this game, we're going to obviously break it down play by play. If this game is anywhere close to last night, this might be the best start to an NFL season that I can remember.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. You're going across, you're pretty much going across the world. Well, not quite across the world, but in a different.
Going down.
Yeah, you're going down. And honestly, you know my thoughts and opinions about it. I feel that going to a soccer country to play a football game, especially in week 1, the prime time schedule of the NFL season to start, I don't necessarily love it, but it's nowhere here, nowhere there. I got to stop complaining because Birds football's back. We're playing an NFC contender in the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love is amazing. They destroyed the Dallas Cowboys the first week of the playoffs. They almost beat San Fran in the second week of the playoffs. So they got to be ready to play tonight. The Birds got to have the perfect game plan tonight to get through this game and move on next week to the Atlanta Falcons on Monday Night Football. This is going to be a tough game, obviously. I had this as a scheduled loss the entire time we've had the show running for like 23 shows now. And I'm not changing my tune. I feel like the Packers do win tonight, but I'll tell you guys this right now. If the Eagles pull this one out, this team's not losing many games. This team might win like 14 to 15 games if they win this game tonight, because this is a scheduled loss for me, in my opinion. But anything could happen. It's the NFL. This team didn't play a preseason snap. This team is coming off of collapse. This team is coming off of missing their Hall of Fame center. They have a new center in Cam Jurgens, who's going to be right in front of Jalen Hurts, obviously. And the addition of Saquon Barkley should be exciting. So I'm interested to see what they bring tonight. I'm interested to see what the game plan is, and I cannot wait, and I'm ready to go.
Do you want to give a quick shout out to my grandpa, Herbie Bolden? This is his 84th Eagles season. He's 84 years old. Can you imagine seeing that much Eagles football? Of course, him being so old, he saw a lot of the bad years, but he saw the 1960 win, which is crazy. You know what I mean? To see Buck Shaw. So yeah, just want to give him a shout out. Huge Eagles fan. To what you were saying, again, I'm super hyped for this game. I did pick this as a win. I guess I want to start off by why they are going to win. They are going to win because overall they are the more talented team, in my opinion. And I think a lot of people would agree with that. Number 2, they're the more experienced team in this type of atmosphere. This team was in the Super Bowl. Let's not forget the Packers had a great playoff run last year. We know that they did not have a great season up until the last 5 or 6 weeks, to be honest. Jordan Love looks great, but again, like you love to bring up fantasy, and you had him too. He was non-existent in fantasy for a lot of weeks. Like you could have made an argument to drop him at some point. Do you agree?
I'm not going to say drop, but obviously not as a starter for certain weeks last year. Yeah, he wasn't consistent. So in my fantasy this year, I'm in 2 leagues. So I'm kind of going off the rails here. But in fantasy, I'm in 2 leagues. One league, I have Jalen Hurts, who I already had Brees Hall, and I had the number 3 pick overall. I had Christian McCaffrey. Now that turned into Jonathan Taylor. I don't have McCaffrey anymore. So right off the bat, my first 3 picks were Brees Hall, Jalen Hurts, and Jonathan Taylor. So that's going to be a stud team. On my other team, I have Jordan Love as the quarterback, and my backup is actually Deshaun Watson. So
I think everyone knows your lineup, right?
I'm not sure, man. Should I explain it again?
We will do a segment whenever. You can give us, if you won or lost, whatever your highlights. We will do.
No, but I was making a point. I was making a point to your point. I was making a
No, I know. I'm just fucking with you.
And the thing about Jordan Love is, yes, you're right. He had games where he was inconsistent, and you didn't want to start him in fantasy for that reason. And you don't know which player was going to show up. But this Jordan Love, in my opinion, is going to be more consistent because he has more weapons to throw to. He has a great running back now. Now, granted, A.J. Dillon's out for the season, so that kind of hurts there. And Josh Jacobs is kind of injury prone, so we'll see what happens there. But at the same time, if they're more fluent and they show what they showed in the playoffs last year, they're going to be a scary team this year. And I do like Matt LaFleur, so they have a lot to be proud of over there. And, time will tell. But
no, I think they're going to be good.
Yeah.
How did Jalen Hurts do in fantasy last year?
He was good. He wasn't good like the last half of the last.
He was like top 3 quarterbacks in fantasy.
That's why I picked him.
And I think we are being a little critical of him. Obviously, the turnovers were despicable. They were horrible. But again, he had more passing touchdowns last year than he had the year before. Mm. He also had 15 rushing touchdowns. Yeah, they were from the tush push. But look at me. We're putting like an asterisk next to everything. He has to control the ball more, especially the fumbles, more than the picks. The fumbles are horrible, especially that Tampa game. He just made just throw the ball away. I mean, you could blame that on the blitz, our abysmal offensive coordinator last year, but Hurts, he had great moments. He made great throws. I always think back to the 2 Washington games, to A.J. Brown, the Miami game, him and A.J. Brown's connection. Then, of course, the Buffalo overtime win when he ran it straight into the end zone. And that was a really big fuck up for Buffalo because just like Lamar Jackson ran the ball 15 times last night, that's a lot. And that's also a lot of hits to take. But Hurts can do the same thing. So there needs to be a man in the box or a spy on Hurts, or he's going to beat you with his legs. Now, will he stay healthy? He hasn't proven that so far. He's at least missed 1 game the past 3 seasons. Yes. So we will see. I was telling you earlier during our pre-show meeting, I think this is going to be a fireworks offensive shootout. I think it's going to remind us all of the Lions game from 2022, right? It was Eagles 38, Lions 35.
Yes. And
remember, the Lions came back. The Eagles were like blowing them away. Were they up by like 3 touchdowns at one point? At least 2.
Yeah, our defense was actually Swiss cheese that game, and believe it or not, they finished with 76 regular season sacks. So week 1 really means very little.
Yeah, that makes no sense, right?
Yep.
And then the year before, randomly, but remember they killed the Lions when they lost 5 straight. They were 2-5. They won like 44-6, something like that. Irrelevant, but I'm putting positive energy out there. My score prediction, I'll give it early. Eagles 30, Packers 27. I don't see these teams, both offenses, reaching 40, but it's possible because defenses do not play well at least the first 2 weeks of the season. Now, we did get a comment from Philly Bowl Entertainment, aka the Regal Eagle, that this win will be decided by Vic Fangio. So, and you know what? Last night the defenses weren't great, but they made the plays when they had to make the interceptions, the sacks, the deflected passes. Like then that's defense today. You can't expect the defense to hold them to 3 points. It's just not realistic. And we still get mad when they don't or they give up touchdowns. Newsflash, the team is going to give up points. If they go down the field and score first, it's not the end of the world. And I feel like Eagles fans, they take that to heart, and other fan bases will make excuses for it, but we're like, fuck, like we're going to win.
Our fan base takes everything personal. That's the thing. I mean, even when it's a fumble, you want to literally strangle the referee. So it goes by every play, every second, every minute of the game. And that's what I love about the fan base. There are some things that I'm kind of fishy about the fan base because I think we overreact sometimes. But I do like the passion, and that's something that we should never forget we have in this fan base. And
like the booing at home to us, too soon, like a full half of shittiness you can boo. And also, I hate 3 and outs. 3 and outs should never happen. They should never happen. Bodie Davis, the coffee this morning tasted 700 level, fam. We'll be watching at a high school game. Still weird, it's Friday. Now, I know you don't like Brazil, but I kind of think it's fun that it's on a Friday night. No?
No, I really don't care for it, to be honest with you. I would listen. I know you always make that look to me that it's like, oh, you can't be fucking serious. I'm hoping you're going to agree with me. Well, I don't agree with you on this. I'm sorry.
I know. I should stop doing that. I try and get you, though.
Number one, there is no reason.
We used to agree a lot. When we first started this show, we used to agree a lot. But the past month.
There's no reason we should be playing in Brazil, number one. Number two, why are we playing on a Friday night? When was the last time a Friday night game was played? Like, I mean, it's made for a high school football team. It's not made for an NFL football team.
They play Black Friday now, but when was the last time there was a season opener for a team on a Friday night? We should look that up.
Could they not? I mean, could they not schedule it on another Friday during the season? Like, why did it have to be week 1? Like,
there's a law because of high school and college football that this is the last weekend where the NFL can actually play on a Friday night besides Black Friday, because that's like afternoon, I think. But yeah, there was a law. It's an old ass law. You can look it up. That's why the NFL does not play on Fridays.
I will do just that after the show. But moving on, both teams are going to score, but who will be able to make that one needed stop? That's why I say it's in Fangio. Our defense is good. Our defense is good, but I think it's going to take a few games to be polished. I mean, here's the thing. So just like Scott said, the first couple of weeks, you're expecting the defense to play like trash. That's number one. Number two, we don't know what our defense is yet because this is the first time in a long time where we're not really relying on pressure up front like we used to.
And we have 2 starters hurt. 2 starters hurt.
We don't know what our pressure is up front. I'm not going to be able to see what we have up front until the game is played tonight. And that's not really saying much. So we'll see. I mean, I'm a little worried about the defense, just like I gave the pregame grade the other day. I'm saying that this team overall, this roster, how it's built right now, it's a B- from offense being A+ to defense being C-. It correlates to a B-. That's what I'm going to stick with for right now until proven otherwise. But we'll see what happens. I mean, these games are played for a reason, and yeah.
Isaiah Rodgers and Devin White out. That is my biggest concern because they were the starters all training camp. And both of them were ruled out like not that much notice for the backups, especially Isaiah Rodgers. Was that yesterday or 2 days ago?
Yesterday.
Mean, that they're already in Brazil. So, and that's really not a good sign. Now, we know the Eagles, no starters in the preseason, which I have no problem with. And I get what they're doing. You don't want to make it more serious, the injury, than it is by having them play. It is just one game. I think they're going to win. I want to win every game. But if you do lose the first, you lose one game, your season is not affected. Let's just say that. Does that make sense? You get one free game in this league.
Right. But if you capitalize off that free game that you're not expecting to win, it's a bonus. So
Exactly.
yeah.
But they have been really good week one. They have won the last time that they lost week one. Was it 2020? They lost to Washington. We watched that game together.
Yeah, it was COVID. I remember that.
They beat the Falcons in 21. They beat the Lions in 22. And they beat the Patriots in 23.
Mm-hmm. And that was a
Now,
sloppy
this
game.
will be their toughest week one opponent by far in a long time.
Yep.
I'm going to look up the week one standings as well. I'm also looking up the last time a NFL team, started the season on a Friday night, or if it's ever happened. I'm sure it has. The NFL's been around for over 100 years.
1970.
What's up?
Lewis said 1970.
Lewis, who played? Where was it? Who won? Just curious. Let me see. While I look that up, or here we go. The NFL broadcasting rights were declared illegal because of antitrust concerns. NFL Commissioner Pete Rozelle in 1961 passed the Broadcasting Act. Yeah, it's been around for a while. Now, that would never happen today. Like, if that didn't exist, there's no way that it's honestly surprising that the NFL doesn't just say, fuck that and fight it, and it goes away. All the money
Yeah, I agree.
Agree with that they could just fight it.
Yeah.
And then Christmas is on Fridays, so it's a little weird, like, with that situation.
That's another thing. I find that kind of funny how they had success last year because Christmas was on a Monday. And now that they have success and they know that they can beat out the NBA no matter what they do, they're going to put on every single Christmas. Talk about unfair to the NBA. That kind of sucks for them.
Now, it's on Netflix this year, the games. So I think that will actually help the NBA.
No. I think it'll hurt it because so many people have Netflix. Netflix isn't that expensive to have a month. Netflix, in my opinion, what is it, like $14 a month? I don't know exactly.
Going up, and I was just fucked. So I just moved back to Philly, and my family shares all one account. But now they have this thing called like household. So you literally cannot be logged in unless you're in your house for multiple people.
It's a way to make them more money because if you have the same password,
they're greedy as fuck.
Well, yeah, if you have the same password and you're sharing with your family, they're going to make less money. It's kind of common sense.
Their revenue is already $1 billion. Do they need $2 billion? Seriously?
I mean, let's just think about this, Scotty, for a second. If you're running a business and you were losing money, would that piss you off?
So they're not losing money, but they could.
They view it that way.
They could just have more.
That way.
What?
They view it that way because if that one person that's using the family's password is also buying it, they'd make more money. That's what they're viewing it as.
The issue, though, is so it's not a friend. It's like, say, your parents and you have like your siblings, your wife, your kids. Like, you can't use it outside of your home,
right?
Like which is fucked. Like, it should be my name, your name, whatever. Like, that is fucked up. If anyone knows and can feel what I'm talking about with Netflix, it's shitty. Will I get it again to watch those games? Probably.
Of course you will.
But I'm not keeping it. There's so many other streaming, like Peacock tonight. I really like Peacock. I'm happy that I get that.
It's like what my mom does. She doesn't like Jeff Bezos, but she orders from Amazon all the time. It's all hypocritical.
Of course. And Amazon Prime, I mean, you get everything. The fucking music. You also get fucking Grubhub Plus, which no one knows about.
Exactly.
All right, back to the Eagles, but I still want to know, the act also led to the blackout policy, which lets the league block games. Now, that does not happen anymore, luckily, for like teams that suck. The last time an Eagles game was blacked out, I believe, was 1999, when the last non-sellout.
I don't really remember.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like a little Eagle historian.
I was like 6 years old or some shit.
Now, I want to talk about the Brazil controversy. I know you've been mentioning this every chance you get. In theory, but when this was announced, it was cool. It was different. Then we found out that this counts as a home game for us. Well, that just put a whole damper. Like, we literally get one less home game. The entire green situation, the not announcing that we're going to wear all black until last week or 2 weeks ago. And now, I don't know. And then there was wildfires that literally are affecting them. I think they're wearing masks. I'm not 100% sure, right? Do you know
Nah, they're
anything more about that?
not wearing masks.
But is it done or is it like no?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they got to figure it out, but I mean, I haven't heard anything about it. I feel like everything's safe since the game's going on, or at least that's what I'm getting.
So those things all back to back, it's like, is this just not meant to be? This is like a bad omen. Like, what is going on here? But I think we're gonna love it. Also, we have not yet experienced, international crowds are amazing. They love to have fun. Eagles, we've never seen that on TV for the Eagles. Obviously, we have the best fans in the world. So it's going to be cool to go to a new place. And just going to be honest, they match our intensity in a different way.
Yeah, I mean, who are you comparing? Are you comparing Eagles fans to Brazil fans, or are you comparing Eagles fans in general to other fans?
Eagles fans to Brazil fans.
Okay, so if you're going to match the intensity, you got to have a little bit of drawing points here. So the Eagles fan base, they're loud, they're obnoxious. Depending on their mood, sometimes they'll throw beer cans at you. Sometimes they'll eat horse shit on the ground. It all depends on what happens. But when you're talking about the Brazil fans, there's histories of them, if they don't get the call right, referees in a soccer game, they'll like kill their family. So I mean, I don't know if that's actually true or not, but that's what I hear.
Well,
so if you're talking about
that sounds weird.
If you're talking about intensity of fan bases, I feel like one extreme is a little bit more than the other, So that's just a different comparison for me.
So what I wasn't going to go that deep. I was going to go like, they're annoying because, they love to fucking sing. They love to drink. So they kind of like become the show a little bit sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was that kind of like, but no, the passion is there, just a live crowd. You know what I mean? And I also remember when who was it? The Patriots and the Colts? No. Was it Tampa and Seattle? I think it was Patriots Colts, whatever the Munich Germany game was last year. And that was on like NFL Network or something.
It was Patriots Colts. I remember that because I think the Colts won that game.
But I remember just hearing from the media members that like that was an amazing experience because of the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, Munich's a little bit different from Brazil. Brazil is just a different animal.
Okay, so I don't know, like you said, if that story is true about fucking murder, but it makes sense with this color green shit because, like, I just feel like we don't understand it unless you're like a huge like FIFA soccer fan, whatever. Like, I don't think Americans that don't know about soccer at all, they can't really grasp what they even mean, like the color green. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they take rivals seriously. Like when it comes to Cowboys games, we'll just shout in your ear. We'll make your life a living hell, but we're not putting your life at risk. Obviously, when they're saying don't wear green, your life is at risk if you're wearing green. So
now, why are they like that? Like that's so barbarian.
No, I don't live in Brazil. I mean, you'd have to ask a Brazilian why they're like that.
That is just really fucking. It's weird. So like
now. All right. So the one example I'll say now, granted,
sports don't matter that much. Come on, you're not on the fucking team.
Yeah, seriously? But here's the thing though. I'll make an example real quick. Did you ever see the movie Euro Trip?
No.
All right. Well, you won't get what I'm trying to bring up, but there was a scene in the movie where the two friends went overseas to find this girl, and long story short, they ran into a soccer club, and the soccer club was Manchester United. So they go on the bus with them. They head to France to watch a game, and then they see a French fan outside the bus, and they attack them with like brass knuckles and everything like that. It's just a different type of fandom. It's a different type of passion, and it's violent. We're not that violent.
Okay. Now, are soccer players like the biggest celebrity and star in these other countries, would you say?
What do you mean by that?
Like Cristiano Ronaldo, obviously one of the most famous athletes in the world. And he kind of like, obviously branched out and did a lot of other things besides soccer. And,
correct.
He has that attitude of just standing out and like being a dick and, whatever, handsome, whatever. But I'm saying, like, you know how, like, Taylor Swift, love it or hate it, she's like the biggest star in our country.
Right.
Or soccer players, do they have that role in Brazil? I mean, that's what it sounds like, no?
Soccer players are different. I mean, I think what you're trying to say is that do you think soccer players will, if they came over here, would they be recognized? Or is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm saying, like, are they at the same, like, somewhat star level of Taylor Swift in that country? Like, they're recognizable
Oh
faces, like
yeah. Oh,
their worship.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that kind of makes a little bit more sense. And you know those fucking Taylor Swift fans. Like, I also watched this movie called I mean, not movie, this TV show on Prime. It's called like Buzz, whatever. It was based off of a Beyonce fan. And those stands, like, that have no life, like, they will hurt people for
Yeah.
like, so that's what it reminds me of. For some reason, our music culture is more like their soccer culture, which is fucking.
Oh no, there was a clip that when well, there was a skit when Ronaldo was at Madrid. He played as a homeless person that was with his dog, and he had a soccer ball, like acting like another soccer player. But he was a homeless guy just collecting change, and he was like doing skills, random skills, and people were looking at him because why would this homeless guy be this good at these skills? And then all of a sudden he takes off his disguise, and then everyone just swarms him. So it's like that just goes to show you like how much they value these humans that give them this entertainment, opposed to like a homeless person. So
I have a question for you. Why is no one talking about this? How, like, it's so different over there, at least as far as I've seen, that, like, even how
there you
we
go.
have.
There you
And I
go.
want you to read. Yeah, I want you to read that comment to
There
us.
you go. Renan
Yeah.
R. And I hope I said that right. I'm Brazilian, and yeah, it's pretty embarrassing how sports fans, more specifically soccer fans, behave. But I don't think there's a history of killing refs. Just a shitty habit of hitting refs. Still bad. Okay, so here's the thing. So I don't think it was Brazil that I heard about. I think it was Colombia. All right, so I got that mixed up. So I apologize for that. That happened in the 90s where they got a call wrong and they actually killed the referee and his family. So I actually heard about that. But Brazilians, they go really above the line when it comes to soccer. Like, and that's not just Brazil. That's just Europe. That's Europeans, some Asian countries, South American. It's just the way of life. They just treat soccer as a whole different animal. And it's just vicious. It's like the passion that we have for American football times that by like 20, and that's what you have as soccer in South America.
He made
It's
another
completely
comment. Oh wait, what's his name? I can't see it.
Who?
The one that the guy that's from Brazil.
Renan Arend.
So Renan, is it like accepted there? You're saying it's embarrassing, but do people just like, it is what it is. We can't do nothing about it? Because here with the Eagles, they're still talking about snowballs from 40 years ago and batteries. So imagine if we were still acting like that. Like, is there some type of like, one side that just I mean, I'm sure there is, but clearly they just still get to get away with doing whatever they want. And the owners, whoever owns it, like, they must not care either. They probably like it, and they're probably the exact same way because they're the biggest fans of all.
Yeah, absolutely. And he adds on to it. It's more of a really toxic, really stupid way Latin American soccer fans behave in general. People still go watch games, but it's not a war zone. But every now and then, some guys fight. It's stupid.
Well,
So
that happens here.
Well, I'll compare that to English soccer. So there would be some games that I watch, maybe a Tottenham and Arsenal game, where in the crowd they have security all around the visitors section because bad shit happens to them. So I know what you're saying, but at the same time, if they didn't think that something really bad was going to happen, they wouldn't have security lined up around the visitors. So there's just a different culture when it comes to soccer, like overseas soccer. It's just different.
They don't have football. They don't have football.
Yeah, and you bringing up the whole Santa Claus and batteries and stuff. We're like the Brazilian fans of American football. Like that's how
like nothing like that's happened since fucking 40 years ago, and they're still doing it.
40. Try like 64 years ago.
No, you're right actually.
Yeah.
No, you didn't answer my question though. Why is the NFL and like the Eagles media, why are they not talking about this? Why don't they want to touch it?
Because everything's politically correct and you can't really touch on a subject like that because people have fake outrage nowadays and they'll pretty much try to get someone fired. So that's why they don't touch on it.
Or they might try and hurt someone physically that said that,
Possibly.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I did look that finally up. The last time that Friday night game was played was September 1st, 1978. It was called a special Friday night NFL kickoff the season, and that was Broncos versus Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. It's been a long ass time. So we will see. Getting back to the actual game, but I loved that Brazil conversation because we're never going to have that again. So it was interesting.
No, and I got to read this. Someone said
yeah.
Ronaldo is a good athlete. I agree with that 110%. Philly Bull Entertainment, a.k.a. the Regal Eagle, says in 1970, the Rams versus the Cardinals was the game on the Friday night.
All right, so I don't know. This just said like the most notable one for what I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know why it said that, but I believe you. Ronaldo is the GOAT athlete by. All right, I'm not gonna read
that is
I'm
by
not reading that username, but
Cameltoe Harris 69. Sweet.
Kyle, stop. Come on, we shouldn't read stuff like that on the show. Come on.
I apologize.
Be laughing here.
Philly Bull Entertainment, aka the Regal Eagle, said it happened after the merger.
Okay. Who is your star of the game for the Eagles? Of course.
Today?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go AJ Brown. I think AJ Brown has one of those games where he comes back to life, especially from last year, and he makes a statement. That's why I have.
Do you mean last year or the last 7 games?
Pretty much the last 7 games.
Okay. My star of the game is gonna be Saquon Barkley.
I like it.
Because this team was good at running the ball last year with DeAndre Swift.
Mm.
I would say DeAndre Swift is probably like a B running back. And Saquon, again, some people have him like being Christian McCaffrey A+. I would say he's an A right now. So that's a big upgrade behind this line. And that's how they win, dude. Running the ball. That's how they're all built around. And it makes the most sense. Take pressure off of Hurts. Let him build his confidence. Literally, I could see Saquon Barkley having 125 yards. How many carries will he get? I think they're gonna have to run. I know Kellen Moore doesn't like to run it. That's why Dallas kind of got rid of him. Mm-hmm. But you have Saquon Barkley behind Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson. Just those 3 are top 10 O-linemen in the league. Not even including, of course, our new center and guard. But I like Cam Jurgens as well. So it's Saquon for me. I think he's going to at least have a touchdown. Let's see what he does in the passing game too.
Yeah.
So I agree. Saquon, and I have Saquon. You have AJ Brown.
So I think the whole thing with Saquon is it's really going to go with the flow of the game. You know, if things are going well in offense, they're going to test some things out. If not, they're going to go with the original game plan. I think their original game plan is to pass more than they run, in my opinion. I feel like they're really going to try to make a statement by throwing down the field, and then
they don't like to run the ball. Jeffrey
but they're going to use Saquon more like down the field and in the red zone, so they don't have to use Jalen Hurts in the red zone. You know, that's what their original game plan is going to be, in my opinion. That could change, but exactly. I really think I think they're going to have Jalen throwing 41 times today. I think they're going to have him throwing a lot.
They're going to lose that. I mean, I told you it's going to be a shootout.
I said it was going to be
win. They win when they run the ball. I think there was a stretch where if they had 100 rushing yards, they were like fucking undefeated or had 1 loss. And what Regal Eagle just said, Barkley, once he establishes the run, everything else opens up. I don't get it. Hopefully they fucking get through their thick skull. It's fine to run the ball. You're not a weaker team. You win. Like, I don't get it. Even LeGarrette Blount, the Super Bowl year, Jay Ajayi, what was wrong that year? That's how you fucking won the Super Bowl. And now you have the best running back you've had since LaShawn McCoy. So don't run him into the ground, but he better have at least 15 to 18 carries.
I mean, you're paying him $13 million a year, so I agree with you.
And do you know Patrick Mahomes' stats last night?
Patrick Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes did enough to win. That's all that matters to me.
No, he almost had 300 yards passing. He only threw the ball 27 times. That's
he was efficient.
Good. That's really good.
Yeah, he was efficient. And that's funny because people said that Lamar Jackson had a better game. He did not have a better game. He ran for 120. It was 123 yards. I remember that stat because I saw someone's wager on FanDuel that had him having more than that, and it didn't happen. He had 123 yards rushing last night, which a quarterback should never do.
122.
And he threw the ball 41 times and still had under 300 yards passing.
So and they lost. So why do you want Hurts to throw the ball so much?
I think Hurts is a better quarterback when it comes to passing and passing and running combined. Like I just think he's a more efficient quarterback. He's someone that can use his legs in the right way instead of looking to run first all the time.
You say that, but I feel like you're still. I think Jalen Hurts still has something to prove to you. And like I said before on this show, Lamar Jackson has won 2 MVPs.
I don't know why.
That is crazy. And it's like, the throws he missed last night in the worst times.
You could make.
Does an MVP do that?
No.
What is going on?
Zay Flowers is right in the middle of the end zone, like right there. I know that Chris Jones was rushing Lamar and he was right in his face, but literally just throw it over and he's right there.
I agree. But I mean, the throw he made at the end was one of the hardest throws you could ever make in this league. Lamar Jackson was the MVP of the league last season. So that's probably a little embarrassing for him that he missed wide open receivers. Again, it is week 1. He's playing the best team in the league since the Patriots, and they actually are more impressive than the Patriots because they make it look so easy sometimes.
Well, I'll also give Lamar a little bit of a break. That football that he passed to Likely at the back of the end zone, Likely should have got both feet in bounds. Like, he definitely should have, and that was his fault.
Lamar is not a top 5 quarterback from Anonymous. I mean,
they're not anonymous, but
no, that doesn't make any sense. How is he the MVP of the league twice, but he's not a top 5 quarterback?
Because he's a playmaker. He's not a quarterback. That's why he's the MVP of the league. Like, you could have had Tyreek Hill and Christian McCaffrey both win the MVP, but they give it to quarterbacks by name. He's not a quarterback, though. I agree with him.
Now, I do love when he runs. He obviously faster than Hurts. Throwing and running combined. Obviously, I'm a little biased, but I'm ready for Hurts to take over again, be a leader, be confident, be MJ, as Nick Sirianni said, which was fucking like really feeling himself. But we need. I want to see almost like a little cocky Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
you agree?
Yeah, like the swagger. I would like to see it.
And he has that. He fucking his fucking marketing team posts on Instagram like he does that. So fucking be it, dude. Like, go back, channel the 2022 season where he was amazing, especially the beginning of the year. Remember that Vikings game? He just made every throw look so easy. Like, he was the best quarterback that season. It's a shame that he got hurt, but he probably still should have been MVP. He really should have. He played that well. The passing touchdowns was the only thing that really hurt him.
Yep.
Brent says, what's the final score prediction? Try to be exact. Earlier, if you missed it, I'm taking Eagles 30, Packers 27. I think it's going to be a shootout. And like someone earlier said with Vic Fangio, whoever, and even the Packers defense, who will make that turnover, that interception? Do you think special teams will play a role in this? I mean, hopefully Jake Elliott is Jake Elliott. But I think it's going to be the defense. I just want to see CJ Gardner-Johnson. Again, I'm so excited he's back. I want to see an aggressive secondary, bat that fucking ball away, be physical, get up in the receiver's face. And we're going to see who takes over this defense as the leader. You could say it's Darius Slay right now, We know it was Fletcher Cox. We still have Brandon Graham, but he's not going to play that much. He's a leader of the locker room for sure. But we lost two of our best leaders in franchise history in Kelsey and Fletcher Cox. Who do you think is going to take over as the leader of the defense?
I mean, I have it CJ right now. I agree with you. I think he's the captain. I think that's the reason why they brought him back here and gave him the contract that he wanted the first time around. He's a tremendous player. He's been there before. He's been to the Super Bowl. He's the guy that we needed to come back. Obviously Brandon Graham, you could say what you want about him being a leader on that defense, but he's not going to really play a big part. He's just here to have his retirement tour, in my opinion. So
I think he's probably pissed off that everyone keeps saying that. I would not be surprised.
I mean,
he might have something to prove.
Yeah, he could also be pissed off as much as he wants, but if he doesn't perform, it is what it is. People are just saying it how it is. I mean, you're coming back.
That would probably piss you off too.
Of course it would piss me off. But listen, if I got a ring and I had a Super Bowl, I wouldn't care as much. It is what
I don't think he just didn't play that much last year. I don't think he was bad, or was he bad?
He didn't play that much because he's getting older. He was a rotational piece.
But they had Hassan Reddick. They had Josh Sweat. Who else did they have at defensive end last year?
Defensive end?
Yeah.
It was Josh. Yeah, Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat, and what the fuck's the other guy? I'm trying to think.
Brandon Graham.
Yeah.
But my point is, I think that's why he did not play. Now, the defensive end, let's just be honest, it's a total mystery, especially with apparently Josh Sweat moving to outside linebacker. I mean, he's probably just going to be a blitzer. And I don't know about him in coverage. We will see. That's another mystery.
Yeah.
I'm looking up our defensive ends last year. Yeah, that was it. Josh Sweat. Oh, wait, never mind. This is fucking this year, I think. No, it's not.
Brett. He's an MVP. He's an MVP because he gets it all done. He can run, he can throw, he can win games. But when it comes down to it, everyone knows he can't win a big game, and that's what you said before. And that's why, in my book, he's not really an MVP. Hurts actually brought his team to a Super Bowl. Hurts is better than Lamar Jackson. That's something I will not deny. 110%.
Actually, I take it back. Hassan Reddick was actually listed as an outside linebacker last year.
Yeah, but he really wasn't, though.
So that's probably what Josh Sweat is going to be. I don't know why he's not listed as a defensive end. It's kind of weird. So I don't even know. They had Nicholas Morrow. Obviously, that Shaquille Leonard, that was a total flop.
Awful.
Of course. Zach Cunningham was decent last year, but again, their technical D ends were Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham and Hassan Reddick.
Yep.
Now Fletcher Cox had a great end of his career.
Mm-hmm.
He really,
it's almost like he knew he was going out. That's why he performed that way.
Well, can we get that from Brandon Graham? Are people underestimating and disrespecting him? Seriously, no one wants to say that, but it's a possibility.
Well, then take everyone's hate and comments and perform.
And I think that would be a huge shock to everyone, but I'm calling it now. I think he'll have at least 6 sacks this season.
All right, let's write that down.
And that would help us. That would help us.
All right, cool. Got it. Sweet.
Would you write that down?
Yeah, I wrote it down on my visible keyboard or keypad.
No, you got to start documenting because you can have a lot over my head. So this year, Bryce Huff obviously came in from the Jets. And Brandon Graham, they're actually the only 2 D end listed, which is so weird. And then Hunt, who we drafted, who again is really just a total. He has a talent, but come on, 3rd round pick. He's going to be our best fucking pass rusher. Right. Josh Sweat, and then that is it. So Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis need to show up and show out. I think Jalen Carter will. I have no confidence in Jordan Davis. Like, why would you?
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I agree with that assessment.
So what's your score prediction?
My score prediction is pretty simple. I have it 38-31 Packers. I have it as a major shootout.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't think defenses come to play at all tonight. It's going to be a 38-31 game, and it's going to come down to the last drive, and the Packers score a touchdown.
So we
And
lose by 7?
we do, yeah.
That would be. What's the line again? We're favored by what? 2.2?
We're favored by 2.5.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me. And I think that's an Eagles line, is it not?
No, it's a Green Bay line.
Yeah, but it's not like they're favored by 1.
Yeah, but Green Bay's going to be the underdog going against the Eagles because of the hype of last year.
But are they really the underdog? Because they're coming in with the hype, and we both have hype. We're just, recent years, we're a lot better than them and more success. And our offseason, Saquon Barkley coming in. I mean, really?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's
He's
the thing.
one that's coming in where I feel like we got all these people, but Saquon Barkley and CJ Gardner-Johnson, they were our
Here's
two
the
big
thing. Here's also the thing. You say that confidently that we're better than Green Bay, but Green Bay was the team that went into Dallas and spanked them. We haven't beaten Dallas in God knows how many years.
I didn't say we're better. I said that we're more in the spotlight.
Oh no, like usually like I play Mr. Disrespect like the other opponents that we play over the years, but like I think I'm falling into that age where I'm turning 32 next month and I'm like saying, "Oh, we have one Super Bowl win in like the last century. So let's just take it down a notch and like let's respect some of our opponents."
You've always kind of said that.
I mean, I don't know. It's just like the Green Bay Packers, they're an historic franchise. They always have the right quarterback.
They haven't won or been since 2010. Aaron Rodgers couldn't even get them there.
See, yeah, because Aaron Rodgers is a loser. He's a great quarterback, but he's a loser.
He did not have it. He didn't have that much talent, especially towards the end. Come on,
Rodgers.
Yeah, what talent did he have on offense? Especially the defense was terrible.
Davante Adams.
Years. Yeah, and they got rid of him.
Yeah, his last year he didn't have him.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, so it's like
honestly, he's withering away in Las Vegas.
Yeah, but listen, guys, like I would love to win this game tonight. I'd be ecstatic if we won this game tonight. I'm just telling you what I'm truly feeling about it. If it were at the link, I think I'd be a little bit more like into it and saying we can win this game. But since it's like kind of like a neutral feel, I don't know. I feel like it's anyone's ball game, but I think this is one where I'm gonna have it as a scheduled loss. I don't know. I just feel weird about it.
Now, is your opinion being swayed because of how last season ended? You think Jordan Love is really good, and you're worried about the defense? Am I missing something, or that's
I think
Brazil factor.
I think Jordan Love is an excellent quarterback. He has a lot of weapons. He has Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs. He has Josh Jacobs as the running back. He has a better head coach in Matt LaFleur, in my opinion. It's in Brazil. It's a neutral feel. I mean, apparently we're going to have more fans than them there. I don't know how that's possible because Green Bay fans travel everywhere as well. So, well, I guess we'll see what happens. I know I'm saying that a lot. It's cliche, but, I don't really have a great feel in this game because of where it's being played. Like
I finally agree with you about Jordan Love. Just had a little revelation here, guys. I recently watched the Tom Brady, Stephen A. Smith podcast. And Tom Brady made a great point that it's hard to play quarterbacks in this league. And every quarterback used to sit for at least 2 years and learn and study. And, it makes sense now for Jordan Love. Like, it really does. And the Packers have done it now 3 times. They followed the same recipe and it's worked. So you might be onto something there with Jordan Love because he did sit and he watched the most talented quarterback, one of, ever play.
Yep.
So you could be right. Like you said, the facts, the history's there with the Packers. But again, is he going to be better than Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre? That would be hard to believe, and they both only won 1 Super Bowl.
Now, here's the one credit I will say to playing in Brazil. So if we do lose this game, the Eagles have an out because they could say if we played at the link, we would have had a better shot. We wouldn't have had the
That's why I think this is a freebie game, and whoever wins is like up 1.
Correct. Correct. So that's the one out I'll give the Birds is that if they lose this game, they'll have that excuse saying, we didn't really want to go to Brazil, blah, 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 and whatever.
Now, the thing that really matters, which again, it's week 1, but looking all the way down the road is like the playoff seeding, head-to-head, tiebreaker.
Mhm.
That's the one thing. And knowing this league, it's very possible that it could come down to that at some freaking point. Also, we're the only team in our division that plays the Packers, correct? Because yes. So, and we're playing the toughest team.
Mhm.
The Cowboys got lucky. Well, they're going to play the Lions, but we both picked Detroit to win the division, I believe. I know I did.
No, I picked the Packers.
Okay. But I think the Packers are more dangerous than the Lions, but the Lions are more like a stable, going to be a good team. I think the Packers can go up and down, but the Packers ceiling is higher than the Lions because it's just the fucking Lions, even though they had a great year. So we will have to see. We are catching the Packers at a good or bad time. They're a young team. Their head coach is young, but we have so much to prove too.
Yeah. Renan RN says Brazilians love new foreign stuff. They love tourists. Tickets are fucking expensive. So it's going to be upper middle class folks and Americans living here watching. Having
Sounds like the U.S.
Go Birds. Yep. Go Birds is right.
Regal Eagle, he hasn't tossed one pass in the NFL. Caleb is overheard.
Well, he's talking about the Nick Wright Mahomes Mountain from earlier.
I did not see that. Wait, what was that on his show today or something?
Yeah, he had Hurts like below Caleb Williams.
Yeah, he's like the new Skip Bayless, just doing super
sucks.
quick, I like him. I like the way he articulates things, but what he says just is so fucking stupid.
I wish I could get Nick Wright on the show like way down the road just to like tear him a new asshole and then tell him to get
Honestly, we could. You remember Justin Pugh? He's from here. He was like the Giants.
He grew up an Eagles fan and became a Giants offensive lineman.
He had some Eagles creators on his podcast recently. I mean, obviously, Nick Wright is one of the most popular people, in sports media. Hey, Skip Bayless needs the job, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's crazy because Nick Wright is a millionaire and he gets paid to talk garbage, and that's what I hate.
Well, he does speak well. He looks like shit. He's like one of the weirdest. He's like one of the weirdest looking people ever.
Yeah,
I do like his voice. I just wish he didn't say stupid shit for views. Mm-hmm. But when he's, of course, his Chiefs, he's so biased. So like he's fucking walking on air with them.
Yeah,
I wanted the Ravens to win so bad last night. Did you find yourself cheering for the Ravens too?
No, I wanted the Chiefs to win.
You picked the Ravens to win.
I did pick the Ravens to win, but once I saw how they were playing, I was like, yeah, fuck this team.
Wait, you were cheering for the Chiefs?
I wasn't cheering for the Chiefs. I just didn't want the Ravens to win.
Why?
I don't like the whole gimmick of Lamar Jackson. I just don't think it's the way you should play quarterback at this level. And it pains me that he gets not only one, but 2 MVP awards. Like, that could have went to anyone else.
Now, I just want anyone to take down the Chiefs besides the Cowboys or anyone in our division, but especially the Cowboys.
Yep.
Now, I don't even know. Like, at first I still like Travis Kelce, even though he's kind of, but he actually has the cockiness that I want Hurts to have. But I liked them when they were, first starting off with Andy Reid and they were all coming together. But now they've won 3. It's like 4. Fuck no. Like, I just don't want to see it again. And they're becoming the Patriots. And do we just hate every winner that just always wins?
Well, that's the one thing with humans in general. They don't like the same thing happening over and over and over again. They like different storylines. They like different teams winning because it's a great feel-good story.
Yeah, but everyone liked Michael Jordan.
I mean, no, not everyone liked Michael Jordan. Like, I'm going back to the times where my dad watched the games and he said that a ton of people thought Michael Jordan was an asshole. But since they think LeBron James is a bigger asshole, they're saying, oh, Michael Jordan was so great. If you go back to the 90s, it's a different time. a lot of people actually didn't like Jordan.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone thinks Patrick Mahomes is an asshole or Tom Brady. Tom Brady more than him. I feel like we respect them and like them more once they're retired.
Well,
Right?
that's a fair comment by 69. They said, "I hate the Chiefs because of Taylor Swift." That's fair. Listen, and
It got more
you're not going to get an argument from me. You might get an argument from him on that, but I'll be honest with you. I'm watching football. I don't want to see Taylor Swift every fucking second of the game. I'm sick of it.
Okay, but what about Jessica Simpson when she dated Tony Romo?
Who gives a fuck about Jessica Simpson? Like, Taylor Swift is like the Michael Jackson of this era. Like, I don't like her personally, but like, she's that huge. She doesn't need to go to every single fucking game and be shown on TV 2 minutes of airtime throughout the whole game. Like,
okay,
that
but you're going to
happen.
your boyfriend's game. I agree. I mean, I don't care at this point that much. At first, it was annoying. They showed her that. How many times they show her last night?
They showed her quick. They showed her like 30 seconds in when he called his first pass. Like, I was like, mind you, I was watching it at a Hooters last night because I wanted to get their wings for whatever reason. I like Hooters wings and I work out a lot, so I lost some weight and I wanted some wings. So I got the wings, and Travis Kelce catches his first pass because he's on my fantasy team. Not only 4 seconds later, they showed Taylor Swift, and people in the restaurant gasped. They were like, "Oh, there she is." People are so sick of it, and I don't know why they showed it.
I am not a fan of her either. Especially her newest album is terrible, but you kind of look dumb because of how much fucking money she's worth. She has the most social media followers ever in the history of time. Why would the NFL do that? They're bringing in all these fans. Like, you have to be intelligent about it.
Well, number one, not to get on a rant about Taylor Swift, but the reason why she's rich and famous is because her songs are relatable to people because of her breakups, because she can't keep a relationship because she's probably not a good person. And they're bringing in money because people can relate to her. I get why the NFL is doing it. I just wish they would stop.
Why would they stop? They're bringing in, they have all these different people watching now.
I don't know. Why are we going to Brazil?
That's their job. That's their job to get the most people to watch.
I don't know why, but why are we going to Brazil? It's all about money. That's why they're doing it.
They're a monopoly, and they're the biggest monopoly of all because they're run like small businesses, but they're a huge organization. And that's why eventually we have to do something about these owners and just everything. They have way too much money, and the quarterbacks are getting paid like generational, like, I don't even know, 10 years. I mean, is that extreme to say? At least 5 or 8 years. Like, I don't even know. We can't fathom $100 million. Now it's so far past that.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's to the point to where when these quarterbacks get paid and they get paid only $100 million, you're like, wow, they got really short shafted on that. Like, that's where it's going.
Now, we do forget that they do pay a lot of taxes. They really do, especially with that, like, depending on what state they're in. I've seen that a little bit. Some players talking about that, but boo-hoo you still have $50 million. Like, come on. So, I want to try and find the ratings for last night's game. I don't know if they're probably not out yet, but I'm saying
I would say like 28 million probably.
And the Super Bowl usually does 100 million, but I want to know how the ratings have changed since Taylor Swift has been on the screen.
Oh, it's probably big because you're getting her whole fan base watching her.
Exactly. So, like, why would they ever want that to go away?
Because it's a dumb reason. It's stupid. I mean, you want to bring people to the sport to watch the sport. You don't want to bring a fan base that has no interest in the sport watching just to see her on.
Yeah, but okay, I was going to ask you that. What percentage of those people are going to become football fans?
5.
That's pretty low.
Yeah, so it's like it's for the wrong reason. That's my whole point.
But if they get 5% out of, again, how many social media followers does she have? It's still a smart business move. You just gained 5%.
But it's a smart business move for the NFL and the NFL only. It's not doing anything for the fans. Like, that's the annoying part of it.
The fans are gonna watch no matter what. Like,
of course, but we don't want to be annoyed by her. This fucking average-looking Cameron Diaz wannabe looking girl. I'm sorry, she's not even that good looking. Like, I apologize.
No, I
Like, it's
agree, but like
and it's
they are
like,
not going to stop watching. They're
and
not
if
going to
there was
stop
one
watching.
relationship, in the history of relationships that I thought was the farce, it's that one because it makes no sense.
Say that again. It makes no sense. Why?
That relationship makes no sense at
Why?
all. If
Why?
you've seen the girls that Travis Kelce has dated in the past and you see her, it makes no sense.
He doesn't have a type.
Oh my god! All right,
But
wrong.
again, I think like just to kind of ignore it. I don't understand. Like it doesn't matter to me. We don't see her on our fucking games. It's just the Chiefs. So like who cares?
Yeah, it's just annoying.
I don't know. I think it's some weird because I think even I don't know. Obviously, women are obsessed with it. Teenage girls, whoever, and I feel like even like husbands of women would like keep up with the fucking bullshit. So I don't know. I think more people don't care or like it than hate it. But
Well,
the
here's the
people
thing.
that hate it are we hear the people that hate it because they're
So I don't
smart.
want to get too off topic about this because it is a pregame show, but you're not the first person I saw that said I'm tired of the Kelsey brothers. Now, I love Jason Kelsey. I'm wearing his jersey. He won us the Super Bowl. He had one of the best speeches at a parade in NFL history. All right, but here's the thing: when you're too much in the public eye doing things that's not necessarily Eagles related, and you do start going off in your own venture and it becomes annoying, I tend to agree with you. Now, will I ever be tired of Jason Kelsey? No, but I could see why people are tired of the Kelsey brothers. I understand it.
All right. Let me unpack that. How many Cowboys fucking former players are in the media? Michael Irvin with his checkered past. Jason Kelsey is just such a role model, stand-up person. There's literally no Eagles players that have had that type of presence ever. So, like, I have no problem with it. Okay, just again, don't watch it if you don't want to see them.
But
I think you would have more of an annoyance with Travis because of the Taylor Swift thing.
yeah,
And again,
I
his
agree.
personality is more immature than Jason's.
I agree.
So, but Jason Kelsey, come on, let him live his life. Like, I don't know. Tom
Yeah,
Brady's more
I
annoying
agree.
than
I
him.
think it's because they're packed together and they're on a show together that people get annoyed with them. But I don't know.
Won't watch their show. Like, what?
I mean, but Jason Kelsey's on WIP now, so it's like
Oh my god, Mike Missinelli's back. I just found that out today.
fucking sucks. Here's the thing about Mike Missinelli. All right, I hate him as a person, but he is a phenomenal radio talk show host.
He is so weird, his personal life, because of his political views, but also what the fuck he's done and said.
Yep.
They do not line up at all. So it's like, who are you, dude? Right?
Yep.
So, but I liked hearing him. He's on the midday show.
Yeah,
it's interesting how like Tyrone just like took his spot, and I love Ricky Batalico and Tyrone, but clearly like he probably didn't want to leave. Clearly.
I mean, yeah, but Mike Missinelli, he has the voice for radio. He knows his stuff about sports. I've never taken that away from him.
Oh no, I love it. I love it too. He's probably the most famous in the city besides like Howard Eskin and Angelo Vittori.
And the writing was on the wall, putting him in that time slot because over at WIP, anyone could be that show. So like Mike Missinelli's probably owning WIP right now in that time slot.
Wait, okay, but you mean the afternoon show? But he was doing that for years.
No, at the 10 o'clock spot. Like over in WIP, it's Joe Giglio and Hugh Douglas. Who the hell is going to listen to them over Mike Missinelli?
Yeah, that's bad. No.
Yeah.
But like the amount of shakeups that they're like, what the hell? Like they literally change these shows like yearly. Like it's actually crazy.
Because management doesn't know what the hell they're doing. That's why sports talk radio has been horrible in the city.
How much do they get paid? Do you know? Does anyone make six figures?
So the main talk show hosts makes over six figures.
Like Reese, right? He has to.
Yeah, easily. And I feel like someone like Mike Missinelli makes I think I've heard the number somewhere between 300 to $500,000
from the Fanatic.
From the Fanatic.
That's crazy. So like listening today, like, and I found out some caller asked him the Ponley hockey post game show, which I actually liked for the past few years. He's like, guys, the the part of the objective was to make money. That's why I left. So he
Mhm.
literally was so shady. Like, I mean, I don't know how much he made. I can't imagine. Maybe they were giving all the money to Seth Joyner because I don't
Yeah.
know who's still there. But yeah, I just thought that was funny as hell that he said that.
Yep.
But happy to see him again. Final thoughts for this game as we are logging off at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Again, unfortunately, Devin White and Isaiah Rodgers are missing this game. So me and Kyle talked about it, which I don't agree with. Darius Slay on the outside, Quinyon Mitchell in the slot, and Kylie Ringo on the other outside.
Yeah.
That is all right. So what I would do, Quinyon Mitchell should be on the outside, Slay, and then I'm putting Avonte Maddox in the slot. And I really want you guys to voice your opinion. Kyle has a different one, but what would you do with Isaiah Rodgers? Because I think Avonte was really good in the slot before he got hurt a million times, but he can do it for one game.
Yeah. I was
What's your
never,
thoughts and what would you do?
I was never a big fan on Avonte Maddox, even when we won the Super Bowl. Now, going back to that Super Bowl team, I'm not ever going to bash a player that contributed to that win, but I was never a huge fan of Avonte Maddox consistently. And I wasn't a big fan of Jalen Mills consistently either. It's just they're players that contributed to a Super Bowl win, but when you're talking about replacing them with certain players that got hurt,
Wait, did you
I
say
wouldn't.
Jalen? I think you said Jalen Hurts. You mean Jalen Mills?
Yeah, Jalen Mills. That's what I meant. But I was never a big fan on Avonte Maddox. Obviously, he's serviceable when you need him to be, but I don't know. As longevity, I just hope players stay healthy and we don't have to deal with this clusterfuck.
Go Birds, Matt. Kyle, read Jamar's comment.
All right. Jamar 14 Eagles, what are your thoughts on Dan Sileo? Now, here's
Who
the thing
wants to
about
go
Dan.
first? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. So here's the thing about Dan. I didn't know he played Miami football. I didn't know like in the late 90s, late 80s, early 90s, he was a football player on Miami University. I didn't know that because if you look at him today, he looks like the guy from Spaceballs. So I mean, he's this guy that's talking shit consistently about
He
the
looks like a
Eagles.
high school teacher.
Yeah, he really does. And like
Like that
honestly,
gym teacher that's overweight but like wants you to be athletic.
yeah, but here's the thing, okay? So here's the thing. I'm not attacking his personal image just because I want to. It's because I despise him so badly because of how much shit he's caused and turmoil of this Philadelphia
I'm
Eagles
glad we
team
finally agree.
that it's like I just don't understand why they have him talking about this team so consistently. Like, does he have beef with them? And I know that AJ Brown blocked him on Twitter for a reason. It's like he's stalking his entire life,
Right.
you know. Now, granted, he's the one that put out all the details of what happened between him and Jalen Hurts, which we're not.
I
gonna
did
talk
not
about.
even know that. I didn't know
Yeah.
it was him. Oh my god.
And that did turn out to be accurate.
Did
But
he put that in a video? Did he make a video about it?
no, he said it behind the scenes to someone named Craig Carton, and then he relayed it. So he's the one that put that out there, and it was true, but he won't let them move on from it. He's like, "Why did you sign him to a deal?" It's like, dude, go fuck yourself. Like seriously, stop talking about our team. Like it's so annoying.
No. Exactly. And he played for Tampa, correct?
Dan Sileo?
Right? He played for Tampa.
No, he played for
He's got
Miami
that Tampa
University.
jersey in his fucking like in all his damn.
No, he
Did he
played
play
college
pro
football
football or
in Miami.
no?
Huh?
So he never played in the NFL.
No, never.
He acts like he literally knows everything. I'm gonna go off on him, but I want to put this up. And this is the perfect description, whatever the fuck this is, of him.
All right.
Battle of the Sexists. All right, can you want to put that in the middle? So this fucking man, when I first found him, I actually liked him. I liked the way he speaks. And I think he's very knowledgeable. Somewhat, like he makes you believe him at first. I think he's a good con man, a good
So
salesman.
he's a manipulator.
Exactly. He always has to go off the fucking rails. Again, the negativity, he was the one that said our wide receiver course was worse than Dallas and pretty much was not good with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Like, because we didn't have a number 3 at the time. Literally insane. And then again, I hate to bring in the politics, but he always has to go there. And it's just so obvious. Like, dude, no one else does it. It's just weird. I think he's losing it too. But again, he's so fucking negative. And again, I even still try and watch him sometimes. He'll string me along, and then it's like a fucking bomb goes off. And it's like, dude, who the fuck are you? No one cares about you. Seriously.
Yeah.
And he could be, I mean, obviously people know him. Who the hell did he just have on? That was pretty, he had Seth Joyner, which I'm surprised Seth Joyner would fucking go on his show.
Well, because they're in the same company. They're in Jacob Sports.
So you're saying he kind of has to. That's what
Yeah,
you're saying.
he's contractually obligated. Or how the fuck
But he did not play in the NFL. Are you serious?
Right, correct.
The way he speaks, I mean, he acts like he is like fucking, I don't even know, Tom Brady or Bill Belichick or freaking Vince Lombardi.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks he knows everything when he's the worst person in the media. He's worse than Skip Bayless, worse than Nick Reich. I mean, would you agree? He's just the fucking worst.
He's worse than Brian Seltzer. He's
worse than Howard Eskin.
This is horrible.
Kyle, he did play in the NFL.
No, he didn't.
He played for Tampa Bay 1 year.
How many games?
1987. He was on the Cowboys training camp.
Doesn't count.
Detroit Lions 92. Let's see Tampa Bay. He played in 87. He's 60 years old. Capricorn, which is
he's 6 years old acting like that. Think about it.
Oh, he's immature as hell. I wonder if he's like fucking alone in his basement. We're really going in on him. With him.
But here's the thing. I'm not one to bully somebody. Everyone knows me.
Well, yeah, but I honestly don't trust him at all. I think he would come for us and he would be really just not cool at all. I think he would actually go there. Do you think he would go there about us?
Dude, honestly, I'd invite him on the show, ask him to say whatever he wanted to, and then I'd rip him to shreds. Because like everything he says is clickbaity. That's all it is, and he ruins people's image for no reason. It's annoying.
I want to know how many times he was fired on his Wikipedia page.
Probably a ton.
2012 and twice in another time in 2012. So he was at least fired 4 times. He said that he would pay $1,000 to any Miami Hurricane player that takes out this kid. Of course, that's exactly who the fuck he is. And then sexist tweets about Aaron Andrews. He was probably the one with the peeping in the hole in the door.
Yeah, he probably was that guy.
And then, reported that one of the comments referred to a 2008 incident in which a stalker secretly recorded her. PP, sick hole, best thing for your career. He also referred to her as a bimbo. Make me dinner. Bake me a cake. That is love Aaron either naked or in porn, not at a sports desk.
What a nice guy.
He literally, well, we know why fucking no one cares about him. All right, that's enough about him and that, I'm actually like literally never watching him again because that is just disgusting.
Yeah, next week you'll be like, oh, did you hear what Dan Silio said?
No, we never mentioned him. No. All right, last point. Again, I have the Eagles. You have the Packers. I have it being a closer game than you do. Another reason why I was a little concerned, but I'm still very optimistic, is just because, and we've talked about this before, the hype entering the season since they won a Super Bowl. We feel like it hasn't been matched, or are we getting older? Like, is the nostalgia, whatever. But do you think it has anything to do with the Philadelphia Phillies and how they've had a resurgence? They're actually a team again that matters. They're actually pretty good. They made it to the World Series. They made it to the conference final. The NLDS or whatever the hell.
NLCS.
NLCS. I'm not a big baseball person. Do you think that has any any value or any merit to it at all, or no?
No, not at all. I mean, so here's the thing, guys. I mean, sports are different for a reason. Baseball is boring. Football is great. Hockey's fun to watch. Basketball is fun to watch. Baseball is boring. It has nothing to do with anything.
Do you care less about the Yankees this year, or are you just not as excited about them?
No, I mean, I'm like I said, I become less biased of all my sports teams. Yeah, the only team that I like outside of Philly is the New York Yankees, but I'm not going to sway away from the fact that they haven't become they've become the Dallas Cowboys of the last 30 years. They haven't won in 15 years. It's the same bullshit. The manager
Cowboys
sucks,
are
the GM
worse.
sucks. The GM
That's
sucks,
okay.
the manager sucks. They have great players, but they don't know how to use them. It's the same thing. And the thing about the Phillies is, yeah, everyone's celebrating them. They think they're going to go win the World Series, but there's a reason why they only have 2 titles in 200 years.
Exactly.
Because when it comes down to the end, only one team wins, and it's the Dodgers are going to win the World Series. That's just what's
Don't
going to
they
happen.
have the most losses of any sports franchise, right?
They were the first to 10,000 losses in 2004.
Now,
So
I felt that way a little bit, but I just today in the city, the vibe again, I just moved back here, even shit on social media, I take that back. I think it tonight is taking over the city, the tri-state area, or wherever the hell you are. Eagles bars are all over. I've been to one in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Mhm.
I think, especially if we do well, the praise is going to, be planted again because it is the Eagles. We've had recent success. We have popular players too.
Yeah.
And again, the Phillies, I really don't care about them, but they had that bad slump where they lost a lot of games. And I don't know, they're just not as popular this year.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I think it's the older people that aren't diehard NFL fans. And of course, we know fucking old people love baseball because they can actually see it and keep up and know where the ball is. But
yeah, so I'm going to get to this comment before we leave. We have 2 minutes left. Tonight's game is special as my girlfriend is moving to my area after break in distance after 8 years apart.
oh my
We're both
God.
fans who used to live in Pennsylvania. She lived in Peru when we met online. Oh, that's sweet.
That is how I want to end the show. Seriously.
And on my way home with her now as she is moving. Go Birds, buddy. Francis,
That's probably one of the best stories I've heard this week. And yeah, that shit's meant to be because what are the odds? She's doing it on a Friday night. The season opener is on a Friday night. Maybe she planned this, it sounds like a little bit.
Yep.
But 8 years, I mean, good for you guys. I mean, I really hope the birds show out for you.
Correct.
Sure.
So tonight I have it 38-31 Packers, unfortunately. Now, obviously, I want that to be different, but that's just how I feel it. He has it 30-27. 30-27 Birds. And we will be back at 11:30 tonight to bring you our reactions. It'll be like a 10 to 15 minute segment.
Unless we have a lot to say, it could go an hour. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But
people will be up. People will be up. You guys will be awake.
100%. But with that
said, now will you be drunk later? You're going to be in LBI, so you're such a
no. I'll drink a couple Surfside, but I'm not going to be drunk. So I'll be clear-minded. I'll be ready to go. I'll be ready for this, and we will see you later tonight at 11:30.
Guys, it's a few hours away. We've been with you since March so far. It's been a great ride. It's going to keep going. Let's fucking go, Birds. Beat those fucking cheesehead Packers, right? See you guys after the game.